About the first volume. Book 1. In this first volume, in addition to its first part, we present technical conceptualizations in simple language, so that everyone can follow this series. We present its use, developments in the education sector. In its second part, we study reports by the spiritist writer, Yvonne du Amaral Pereira, who, in analyzing the Metaverse proposal in the education sector, is totally in tune. For those who do not know her, we present her biography and other comments, available in this work, through the QR code. This is presented in order to make it unnecessary for this book, in printed form, to have many pages, as well as to provide an improvement in the quality of information transmission. If the term metaverse appeared in 1992, with Neil Stephenson's work entitled Snow Crash. As a professional in the field of information technology, when I began to study it, I rejoiced doubly. First, because it is an excellent development for mankind. To say that it, as well as all other advances, bring good and not good things, this is unnecessary, because like all other human achievements, they always serve for good and bad for us, depending on how we use them. The car and the airplane, as examples, both serve to facilitate the transportation of people and cargo, and also serve to kill. When I said that the metaverse was for me a double happiness, I was not exaggerating. First, for seeing the benefits that we will enjoy with it, and, later, for identifying its concepts, applications, used in the daily life of characters from spiritist works written, for the most part, still in the 20th century. I proposed, then, to the team to which I am fortunate to participate in activities of developing electronic and printed books, to create a series on this theme. We will bring presentations of the uses narrated in these mentioned works, as well as put ideas, suggestions, challenges of developments that can be achieved by professionals and students in our area of expertise. It is easy and abundant to find in the popular media, where the metaverse is presented as an almost exclusive form of entertainment, watching shows, buying clothes, etc. We don't want to despise this important sector for the human being, which naturally involves the movement of vast financial resources, moving the economy. But here we are also concerned with presenting its applicability in more serious sectors, such as health and education. Importantly, this multiple applicability in different sectors, by different characters and interests, brings Metaverse the assurance that it is not simply a passing fad, but something that has the breadth and strength to be with us in a perennial way. This vision also makes it a more reliable business. This does not mean that it is immune to turbulence, but it gives us the certainty that even if it enters moments of gale and storm, it will come out of those moments in the same way that a safe ship comes out of those conditions, continuing its journey without losing its way. Intellectual property issue and its use. Throughout this series, the reader may wonder and even seek us out through the open debate, which we have developed in this series, questioning the following point. If it is correct to think that the so-called inventions, serious human developments, useful, and that provide humanity with an improvement in their quality of life and expansion in their various activities, are pale reflections, in an even crude way, copies of what has already been developed by other humanities, in other times and on other planets. What is the merit of Neil Stephenson being the first Earthling to expose the metaverse, and of companies such as Meta, Microsoft and many others being invested in it? The answer is clear and simple, but for this it is necessary to expose it through a fictitious example. Let's imagine that in a meeting with several people, a coordinator spoke. The development of humanity should count from the end of the 20th century on the implementation of the Metaverse project. Therefore, we need someone to put this goal in the population's mind so that, at the next moment, entrepreneurs can develop it, making the necessary adjustments and introducing it into the everyday life of Earthlings. Is anyone applying for such an undertaking? From the small audience, some raise their hands and are accepted as participants in this venture to implement this project within humanity. Logically, all the necessary resources, tangible and intangible, will be provided to these workers. To question the merit and right to use these characters, claiming that long before the creation of Earth the Metaverse project was already being used by other humanities, is absurd. For, just as in this hypothetical meeting there was the commissioning of the implementation of this project, there was also the study of other phases of implementation on Earth, of this and probably other projects. Just as there is also the right to use it because it was a personal and corporate achievement. Just to illustrate the above, let's use another example, the formation of the Brazilian territory. Among other factors, but the main factor that made the Brazilian territory have the dimensions that we have, was thanks to the action of the Bandeirantes. We also know, whether in the present or with an eye to the future, that no nation was created without specific planetary responsibilities. Naturally, these responsibilities may vary according to the passage of time. Therefore, resources, including territorial potentialities among other points, all planned. If it depended only on the primary interests of the colonizers, Brazil would have the size of the Brazilian coastline without going much in its interior. Knowing this characteristic, many resources were placed in its interior, and through, mainly, the ambition of the Bandeirantes, the conquest of Brazil's interior was achieved.